fiction, science fiction, horror, fantasy, crime, LGBT, thriller.
You have now entered the House of Mystery.
Welcome back into the House of Mystery. I'm Al Warren. Mr. Smoker Joe, the Reverend, is here.
You did them both. There you go.
Oh, yeah, see, I've got it all worked out, you know.
Yeah, I'm working on the ceremony as we speak. My elbow is sitting on it. You know,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Trying to see if I can stuff myself into a suit. My son's getting married in November, so.
Stuff yourself in a suit? Why?
Yeah, I've got to wear a suit. Yeah.
I thought you were all, like, toned and ripped.
I am, but you never be toned and ripped enough.
Yeah, no matter how hard you try, right? And it's harder as you get older. You know
kidding. No kidding.
You know? Well, you could quit eating, period.
That's pretty much what I've done. No. Eating right and exercising and whatever else I can do to get over the getting older problems.
Yeah, I don't know if it
like sitting at a desk and writing and snacking on peanuts. That's always a good exercise.
Stop that.
I know, I did.
Drink water.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, that's what
Very much.
Well, speaking of drinking water.
A tall drink of water. A talented drink of water.
Yeah, and that's been around. Shamus Award-winning author. Ooh. So we got Michael Sears here, and he's going to talk about A Queen's Mystery. It's a 2-book series. And one is called The Tower of Babel, and the other is Love the Stranger. So welcome to the show, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you, Alan. Thank you for having me on. And just for all of the women listening to this, I just want to point out you're not the only ones that agonize over fitting into wedding clothes.
Oh, yeah. I don't really care about my shoes.
Yeah, and I don't really, if I can avoid wearing a suit, I've done it enough in my life.
Ties especially.
Yeah. Kind of got.
Somebody bears me in a tie, I haunt them for the rest of their lives.
Actually, I'll make sure they put 3 or 4 on you.
Yeah.
Anyway, Michael, how is everything going for you? Everything in life doing well?
Things are good, and I feel constantly blessed that I get to keep doing this at this point in my life. It's I'm not a golfer.
What?
I am a sailor, but I spend most of my days writing, making stuff up and putting it on paper, and someone publishes it. That's absolute magic. I love it.
What more could you ask for, right?
I got the first part, not the second part, so I'm halfway there.
He placed the golf.
Yeah, well, yeah, the golf. Now back to the writing, but no publishing.
Well, I was going to say, how did you find yourself getting into this world of writing? Like, were you always a writer, or did something happen?
No, I was. I was always a writer, and I've had a couple of different careers and wrote in some way or other through all of them. And when I left Wall Street 20-some years ago now, I can now give myself a gift of taking writing classes and really work on it, and maybe someday I'll get a short story published, and wouldn't that be amazing? I had 3 books out before the short story got published, but that happened too. So,
do you like the short stories sort of better than full novels, or not? Or do you have a preference on either one?
I actually prefer the novel. I like delving deep into character, and I think I can write short stories. I've now had half a dozen published, but my real fondness is for a long-term arc of a character. And the way I can explore different aspects of their character. That's what I like.
Well, that's kind of important. But I think that there is sort of a skill to doing a short story, making it so that, you kind of get the reader to know everything without saying a whole lot.
Yes. It's hard. I mean, novels are hard too, but I find short stories very difficult. And if without a real inspiration of the whole thing appearing in my head, it's not my forte. It takes me a while to develop a series of events and string them together. And that's okay. I enjoyed that process, but having it all shrunken down into 5 or 10,000 words is really scary.
Yeah, I did my short story over the weekend, and I was like, inspiration. I got it done. I like it a lot. In fact, I've already sent it out. I did like the fact that I had it done in 3 days, not 2 years or a year and a half. I mean, how long does it take you to do a book?
Well, for a while I was on a once a year treadmill, and I'm not anymore. But I normal times I can get a book out in a year and a half to 2 years, and still have a life.
Yes, exactly. Let me ask a question about what you said about this on the short stories. Is you have to develop a character. What's a character to you? When you're writing, is it character first, then story? But what makes a good character?
Well, I need the character to have conflicts of his own. I need him to have a long-term arc, especially because these are series. He can't solve all of his problems in the first book, and then I'm saying, oh, okay, what do I do now? There's got to be an arc to his inner problems and inability to really deal with the world in some way. My character here, Ted Molloy, was a high-flying New York big deal real estate attorney, and now he makes his money picking up odd bits and pieces. And he's actually more comfortable in his current self than he was then. He comes from nothing, and he's made a couple of steps up, even though in the meantime he had a huge fall.
So now let's talk about this A Queen's Mystery 2-book series. What's it about? What's the basic storyline here to start with before we get into detail?
A few years ago, I started thinking about a Queen's series using the borough as the center of it, and there was a lot of tall building development going on in Long Island City and other areas, and I thought, oh well, suppose put this in a Long Island City was kind of a industrial area that its time had passed. Put this in a real live neighborhood, and what's going to happen? And you're going to be driving people out, and it will be completely inappropriate. So I decided on Corona, Queens, and started working on this. And lo and behold, reading the paper, somebody's trying to do it in Astoria, 3 miles away. Pretty much the same crazy kind of huge development project that is going to be a neighborhood killer and drive out small businesses and so on and so on. It's my own fantasy, but it's also quite real and happening in real time too. In the books, there is a real estate developer building a mammoth Tower of Babel in Corona, Queens, and my hero Ted is kind of roped in to work on stopping this and preventing it. In the meantime, there are people murdered and attempted murder, and there's crooked politicians and Russian bankers and gangsters of all flavors. And said a couple of times, a 2-book series. It is a 2-book series until book 3, which I'm going to have out this week. I mean, I'm not out, but I will out of my computer and off to my editor this week. So it will be a 3-book series by next fall.
Did you have this? It sounds like the 3rd book was a surprise. Did you have 1 and 2 sort of in your mind, or you just sort of writing these standalones? And
well, I told my agent, you can sell this as a 3-book series, but it's really a standalone. I don't know what I'm going to do next. And she came back and she said, oh, well, yep, it's a series, so go to work. And what I find, it's a 3-book series. As I'm here writing the last couple of scenes of book number 3, I'm thinking, wow, there's this whole thread here that I could go back and build that up and make a make a book 4 out of it. So we'll see. I don't know.
Did you know what was going to happen to Ted from book 1, page 1 to end of book 3? His character arc, how he would change?
He's an interesting enough guy that I find there's still more to dig into here, and he takes some very different turns in the 3rd book, as he does in the 2nd. But I think that his arc continues to evolve, and that's keeping me interested. So I hope it keeps the readers interested as well.
You talk about him like he's a real person. How do you? Well, I mean, this is a question how is it that you interact with this character? Do you see him, hear him, feel him? Do you have a picture of him in your mind? Does he actually decide in some cases what he's going to do or where that character's going, or what's kind of your description of that situation?
It's funny. I know when I've written a scene that is where he's behaving in an unlikely manner, and that's a trigger for me that I need to go back and explore it, either completely rewrite the scene or discover what is it that's that I do want to explore about him, and I'd have to find a way to do it better, but it's a little bit of both. And does he exist outside of me? Well, he's in 3 books now. That's, I think, for a lot of readers, he is quite real and quite separate from me.
Well, let me hit the bio and go with what you're doing now. One of your careers, you're an actor, and I was wondering how acting, especially like Shakespeare and the like, impacts you or affects you or helps you write those scenes as a writer.
They're actor techniques of writing your character's backstory. Your character existed before page 1 of the script. What was he doing? Where did he come from? And the actor has to know this. He also has to keep it to himself. A whole book with the backstory of all of my characters would be tremendously boring. But I have to do that work, and that's an actor's job. You've got to do that first. I talk out here in my room, in my office. I out loud say dialogue quite often. And while I'm not imitating specific voices, I am shifting in my head to other characters and what do they want in this moment in the scene? And that's the actor's question always. What do I want? What does this character want in this scene? What am I going after? What will satisfy me here and what won't? And those kinds of questions are really important for an author. I'm sure you could do it without, but that's how I do it.
Yeah. Well, let's go with that. Let's keep going. Actors are on stage, you have an audience. Are you thinking about your audience for writing, your readers as you're writing?
I am very fortunate to be in a writing group with 3 other authors. We've all been published. We've all been doing this a long time. And we can be hard on each other and get away with it because we've been together so long and know each other well. I find myself writing for them, and they catch me on it and say, no, you can't do that. You're writing for a bigger audience. And I have to be aware of them out there, but the readers, but I owe them my own honesty, my own truth. And so it really comes back to what's coming from my heart. What I'm revealing there, that's the important thing. If they like it, that's great.
So that's the reward for you. It's about how it turns out for you, right? It's about what you want to create.
Yes. I like positive feedback. I don't like negative feedback. But I like the applause, but but really it's the fact that I get to examine crazy issues, the meaning of guilt, what is honor in the modern day and whatnot. I get to explore all these things, put it into words and put it out there. And maybe somebody's going to click with it and hear it and feel what I'm saying. It's great I get to do it.
Is that kind of the subtext, and is that what you hope the reader takes away from the book? Kind of this challenge to some of these ideas or feelings or what these things mean?
I hope that they connect emotionally with my characters, and through that get to see the themes that I'm exploring as well.
Well, it sounds like it's you're sitting in the room and talking to yourself and your character. And you're going through all this stuff, and they probably feed you a couple times a day and don't let you out or whatever. But it's very important to you. These characters are really a big part of your life in a sense. So how does this affect you? How does it change you when you go through a book in the series?
Oh, some years ago when the kids were still at home and I was having a terrible time with a book and just really beating my head against the wall about it, and I was grumpy for days, and everybody knew it, and they also knew not to give me grief about it because I was so touchy. I'd bark at them, and I had a great day, and I came down to dinner and smiling and happy as could be, and they said, "Look at you! What was this about?" And I said, "I just killed a banker."
Yes, in a horrific, violent way.
Oh, yep. It does affect me, but I try not to let it, but it does come over at times. Mostly because I'm having trouble agreeing with my character on what he's supposed to be doing at any given time. So,
well, who wins? You or the character?
Oh, the character always wins.
Yeah, thank you. Right answer. Ding. Well, let's go back to the beginning, just for process questions. Is you talked about Queens and other places. You know, a lot of authors have their location as their setting as a character. You're obviously yours is. Why Queens? Why is it important to you? You know, could have been Hoboken, or could it not have been Hoboken?
While I was working on Wall Street, I began doing some real estate things with a buddy, and I was concentrating on Queens and then Long Island as well, and I got to see a lot of Queens by going to visit properties, by meeting with various kinds of mortgage brokers and whatnot, and the unbelievable diversity of humanity that exists in Queens is constantly slamming you in the face. It's just, and I realized, doing a little bit of research, there's really no place quite like that in the world. It's where the immigrants arrive. They gather together in little enclaves. They build something, and sometimes they move on, and then a whole lot of them come out to Long Island and in enclaves out here or not, and some melt into the greater humanity, and some keep their own cultural identity very strongly. And anyway, this is what drew me to Queens. It is the most culturally, ethnically, ethnologic place on the planet. It's what's the Deep Space Nine, where everybody manages to come through, and that's what Queens is. And from micro groups of various African nations that all have a corner, a block, or this is Little Ghana, and it's not far from Chinatown or Koreatown and so on and so on and so on. And I love that about it. The color, the languages, the foods is really a great place to explore.
And Joe's on a diet, so we're not.
Yeah, no foods.
He's got to fit in that suit, so
Yeah.
he's not going to Queens.
Thanks for
I do
Yeah.
manage to include food porn in every book.
Oh, man, you're killing me.
Somebody's got to do it. You can
That's
dream.
New York. There's food in New York.
Yeah.
I've heard there is.
You can dream. Yeah. Well, I think it's really important. I mean, the setting is, if you can get the feeling of it, and that it adds so much to it, right? A lot of texture.
The locals tell me I got it. At one, I won the Nero Wolfe Award as well for Tower of Babel. And it was a lovely dinner, and they fitted me nicely and fed me well. And people were telling me, "Oh, I live in Queens, and you got this right, you got this right." And then one woman said, "But getting from there to there in your book when your character goes, that's not the fastest way to do it."
That's good.
Yeah,
that's a good comment. Yeah.
That's great. She paid attention, boy. And little things about, the diner and the misspelled words on the menu and the place where to make a right turn, you actually have to get off the road and go, things like that I love knowing of this about the neighborhoods, and I love including those little details that bring verisimilitude, another acting word, to what I'm doing.
Ooh. So listen, did you see yourself being where you are today? Did you think you would go this far with writing?
I mean, really, the short story idea was what I was imagining at that point, and the first couple of years of after having written a couple of books and finally getting an agent to pay some attention to one, and then suddenly it was just this whirlwind, and I'm still high off of it. This is really cool. I'm very happy to be here at this point.
Hey, Michael, let me ask a question once again about process. You have a visual acting background. Do you see people? Who's Ted? Do you see an actor who's playing Ted right now?
I don't. There are characters that I do, but I try and squash it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe make it easier for somebody to sell it in Hollywood, but that's not my job. But I want them all alive in my head, and not from my imagination, and not from what I saw at the movies last week or on television last night. But it definitely creeps in. But all of my characters have bits and pieces of people I've known, and that's fun. That's fun to revisit them in this way.
And you kill the ones you hate.
I don't know that they would.
Yeah. I remember you from high school. You're going down in the next book.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, I know. I beat you to the.
I was going to say, can you give us some names?
Yeah, right.
And say, did you know that? Oh, that's terrible. Well, I think too, if you picture someone, if you see someone in a movie and you picture them as your character, and you're continuing to write the series, I think you might be swayed to go in that direction of what you see in that character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you while we're at it, Joe would play a really good character if it ever.
I'm a good corpse.
Corpse
number 3. How do you do violence in your books? What do you think about violence?
Karen Slaughter and I were on a panel together one time, speaking of violence in books, and she's really good at it, and it's really it's operatic in her hands. I don't think I could do that like that and get away with it, but I do like killing people, and I do. I enjoy the.
Take that clip. That's
that clip's going to be the ad of the show.
Oh,
I like it. Give it to the police.
The minutia of a fight scene. it's so hard. To make it right and not make it corny and not make it cliched and make it new and yet get the exact details for each bit of it, or the action scene when he does the car spin and things like that. It's hard, and it takes a lot of editing and going back over it, and I'm so proud of it when it's done. I really feel like I've done something good here. There's going to be violence in my books. It's not something I'm aiming for, and it's got to come. It's got to come naturally from what else is going on.
Make it real, and to keep it real, are you finding yourself toning down as our culture becomes a little bit more sensitive to things in the language as well as the violence, or do you just do what you're going to do?
It's funny that I'm finding in this book, this third in the series now, that I'm constantly surprised. Wow, you threw in another F-bomb. Do you really need to do that? And I do feel like there is a feeling within me as well, within society, that I do need to tone a little bit down and rely more on the character and the tension within a scene than the release.
Do you like to have readers and fans contact you through social media or a website or anything like that? Where do people go?
Please come in through the website. That's great. I'm going to go back to social media. You have to. It's part of the job description, but I'm not good. On the other hand, everything that comes into my website pops right up on my computer, and I will answer. I will talk. I love having long chats about whatever you want to talk about. I've had people reach out to me and say, "Oh, I've read your book. It was great. Have you read this?" And presenting me with things of what their other favorite books are. And it's great. I enjoy it a lot. And I will write you. Write to me, I'll write you back. And it's michaelsears.com.
Well, perfect. Of course, we'll have that and your books up on our website so people can grab and find you with one click easily. Appreciate you being here. And we've been talking about A Queen's Mystery, and 2 books, soon to be 3 book series, and the author Michael Sears. So thank you very much for coming on.
Oh, thank you, Alan. Thank you very much. And nice meeting you, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely.
This has been a production of the House of Mystery Radio Show. To find out more about our show, guests, or hosts, go to our website at houseofmysteryradio.com.